We're back with our special guest today, Dr. Gloria Graham, who's the Director of Health Services for Cherokee Nation. And again, we appreciate you taking time out of your very busy schedule to be here.
Thank you, Jerry.
Let's talk for just a moment. The Cherokee Nation has a lot of educational tools that they offer to the community, whether you're a citizen of the Cherokee Nation or not a citizen of the Cherokee Nation. I've been to a couple of health fairs where some of your staff have really been very helpful in educating me about this month happens to be skin cancer awareness. So tell us a little bit about how that plays in with the mission of the Cherokee Nation and that important component about awareness.
We have, as you mentioned, I mean, we feel, looking at public health, that public health involves not just Cherokee Nation, but all citizens in northeastern Oklahoma. And to increase the health of a community, you should increase the health of all citizens. So that's really what we try to do with our public health approach. Along those lines, we have a cancer program. And within that cancer program, we focus on several things. And some of those things are very unique to Cherokee Nation. We have a cancer tumor registry, which is very similar to the state tumor registry, but we track all cancers within Cherokee citizens within our 14 county and look at trends to see if the trends are comparable to state and national trends. We also have a comprehensive cancer control program that looks at really trying to reduce cancer rates in our area, and that includes all citizens that live in this area. So one of the things that we do is when there are different opportunities to make people aware of cancers and how to prevent those cancers and early detection, we take all those opportunities. And as you mentioned, this is Skin Cancer Awareness Month. And so we really want to focus and get the message out there to people on how to prevent skin cancer and how to take a look at themselves and recognize if there may be a problem they need to seek care for. And
some of those kind of basic steps, if a person has children or adults or seniors, there are some steps that they can take to really be proactive about preventing skin cancer.
There are. And of course, prevention, no matter what you're talking about, is always the most important thing. And with skin cancer prevention, it's what you expect. The most important thing you can do, which is not as feasible for everybody, is to stay out of the sun. We're going to talk a minute about other things you can do when you're in the sun, but truly the best thing you can do is stay out of the sun. If you have to be in the sun, then things you want to do are find shade, avoid direct sunlight from 10 to 3 when the sun's out at its brightest. Make sure you wear the big hat, clothing, loose-fitting clothing, sunglasses. You've worked at the School of Optometry, and your eyes have to be protected just like the rest of your body, so you want to make sure you wear sunglasses to help protect your eyes. And then finally, we can talk about sunscreen. And I mentioned sunscreen last because people rely on sunscreen, but it's the other things that you really need to do. If you can stay covered, that's the most important thing. But most of us can. And even on any given day, we're going to go out in the sun, our hands are going to be exposed, our face is going to be exposed, and so the importance of wearing sunscreen. Having said that, people should wear sunscreen every day. It's not just it's not just a summer thing. It's not just I'm going to the beach thing. It's every day. So in the winter, you should put on sunscreen on any areas that are going to be exposed. When you pick out sunscreens, multiple kinds, you want to make sure that you get a sunscreen that protects you from UVA and UVB sunlight. At least a 15 SPF, and you've got to make sure you apply that at least 30 minutes before going out into the sun. Some things that people don't always do is you need to reapply it every couple of hours.
Okay.
If you've been swimming, even if it's waterproof, you need to reapply it when you get out of the water. If you've been playing volleyball, something where you've been sweating a lot, you need to reapply it.
And obviously children are more sensitive in a lot of areas than adults would be, and sometimes parents need to be reminded that it's very important to have the right SPF number.
It is, and you mentioned that you have a grandbaby.
Yes.
That's going to be out in the, going
to Florida for a week.
Going to Florida.
Grandparents are a little iffy about that.
And And there was a time when they really recommended, small infants less than 6 months, really stay out of the sun for any length of time. And that's still, as a general, that's still probably a good rule. But now they've got much better sunscreen for children. That, one of the problems was allergies caused by the different types of sunscreens. But they've got sunscreens now that are very good for even smaller children like that. And so with somebody, that's 9 months, that's got, very
very sensitive,
very young skin. I mean, she's got to stay, sunblock. That's for children. She really needs to be covered the majority of her body, even at that age. A hat. And one of the things that parents often forget with children that age are eye protection. And
wow, that's a good
that's
point.
something that you cannot forget even in a child that old.
Good
is
point.
Is eye protection. One of the other things that's since we're talking about children is that you really need to watch sunburns. If you have more than 2 sunburns, if you're younger than 18, that really does increase your risk for skin cancer as an adult. So
just 2?
Just 2. So we really have to protect kids.
Well, here in Eastern Oklahoma, and we're all about being outdoors this time of year. I'm very tempted to be on the golf course today. I carry sunblock in my golf bag. Now see, that's good information though, because I typically wait till I get on the tee box, put a little bit on, and I'm off. So I need to do it 30 minutes or 45 minutes before we go out.
And actually you should do it every morning before you leave your house.
Really?
Because I mean, on your face, because most people are going to be, if you're out in the sun more than 15 minutes, you really do need to wear sunscreen.
Wow.
And most people, if you add up the time that you spend walking to and from your car, stopping in a parking lot to say hi to somebody, you really are out there for 15 minutes. And so it's just a good habit, and it's a good prevention technique is to just put on sunscreen every day.
On the Cherokee Nation website, do you have some health information and some reminders and pointers that are available to the public?
We do. When we try to keep that updated as through the various months, depending on what it is that we're really focusing on that month. But we do have information on there when it's Skin Cancer Awareness Month, if it's colorectal, Cancer Awareness Month. We try to keep that updated.
Well, we'll remind people as it scrolls across the bottom of the screen that
Okay.
on Cherokee.org that there's a lot of great information that can be out there for everyone to
Yes.
be my boy. I've learned a lot today. Got to talk to my daughter and son-in-law, grandbaby going to Florida. Got to get my golf game in order.
That's right.
Well, will that improve my handicap if I do that on the golf course?
It will in the long run because it's going to improve the length of your life.
I
So
knew you
will,
would say that. I knew you would.
you
Well,
will.
I'll remind the foursome that I try to play with from time to time that that's very important,
Yes.
and we all should be aware of that. Well, that's great information to have, and we're so thankful that the Cherokee Nation, especially in areas that I travel from time to time throughout the communities, and we do visit the clinics through the College of Optometry, that there's a real obvious attempt to help educate all of us to be good, highly aware that we all need to be proactive in prevention,
Right.
and it will make a difference. Dr. Grimm, we're out of time. We've got to have you back on the show sometime,
Thank
maybe
you.
some of your staff to kind of keep putting these messages
Okay.
out about health care. This is going to be a challenging year for health care services, whether
Yes,
it's
it
the
will.
Cherokee Nation, Public Health, City of Tahlequah, the Tahlequah City Hospital, our primary private caregivers. It's just going to be a challenging time with budget cuts, and so let's plan to have you back on
Okay,
so we can
I'd love to be.
communicate those concerns to the community and how they can be proactive
Okay.
as we plan ahead in healthcare here in Tahlequah, northeastern Oklahoma, and of course the Cherokee Nation.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.